Greetings, and welcome to you all. Thank you for joining us with the Come Up, the Rise of the Entrepreneurs. I am your host, Rob McCray for the Business Building Network, and I just want to thank each and every one of you for coming out and joining us this evening. We have a very eventful show for you this evening. We're going to have some special announcements, and we're going to be launching a program right here on the Come Up. So you want to make sure you stay tuned and don't miss out on any of this information. This is something that's going to be truly monumental, so you want to make sure that you do not miss out on this. Good evening, Laverne. Thank you for joining us. Good to have you with us, sis. So I'm going to share this out real quick before we bring out our guest for this evening. So if you would just give me a minute while I take care of that. And ladies and gentlemen, as you're joining us, please leave us a comment so we can acknowledge you. And we want to give you a shout out as well. So I'm just going to share this out and then we will get started momentarily. So again, folks, as you're jumping on board, just leave us a comment. Let us know where you're checking in from. Okay. All right, so let's get this shared on out. Greetings, family. I see you checking in. Just leave us a comment so I can give you a shout out. Welcome to the Come Up, episode number 13. So let's get this shared on out. Let me. Okay. Greetings, and welcome. Thank you for joining us for episode number 13 of the Come Up. Please just leave us a comment as you're jumping on board, and we are going to be getting started momentarily. Just sharing this out. Okay. Just bear with me for a minute, folks. I'm just sharing this out on a couple other networks, and we will get started very shortly. So, how's everybody doing out there? How was your Thursday? We getting ready for the weekend? How's the weather out there? Let me know how everything's going. Uh-oh. Sound like we got somebody coming in. Who could it be? Who could it be? Hello, Diane. Good
Hello,
evening.
everybody. Good evening.
All right.
Hi.
We didn't bring you out yet, sis. We're gonna get you out in just a minute. I'm just sharing this out before I bring you ladies on.
Okay.
So you're right on time.
Oh, that's
Mm-hmm.
good because
Please,
it's
Chris.
been a heck of a day.
Oh, I know that. Christine, please unmute your mic. Good.
Copy that.
All right,
All
everybody has
right.
their
All
title.
right.
Diane,
Yes.
gorgeous, darling, gorgeous.
I'm so sorry, guys. I worked until 1:15,
But you look great. But you look great.
No, I didn't see any message until about noon today.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. We're good.
Okay.
You are more than good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bishop Pinnock, how are you, sir? Man of God, how are you? Good
We're
to
just
have
gonna
you.
talk, and you
Cool.
guys
No,
you
that's
guys
fine.
take the lead. You got, because you know why? He's already interviewed me, so I want both of you guys to shine. Just take the lead. Okay?
I'm really good in the background.
Stop it.
I'm the background person.
Stop it.
Hey, Christine, how was your day?
Well, I have to say, to God be the glory. I have some projects that are on the way that it was, I got the help I needed. Thank you very much for asking. So
That's good.
I had a
Brother Rob, we're ready.
I was
You are ready?
Yes.
All right.
hold on.
Okay, so let's get it going. Hold on one second. I just want to
I want to see my
real
face. Trying to do that.
Okay.
So what are you thinking? Like this? Is that what you're doing?
I was trying to do that.
Yes. All right. So, good evening once again, friends and family. Glad to have you all with us this evening for this monumental event. And as you can see, we have all of the team, the staff members of the Now Talk Show. Good evening, ladies. How are we doing this evening?
Good evening,
Good
Rob.
evening.
Good evening, Rob.
Doing well.
All right. Excellent.
How are you doing?
I am doing wonderful. I'm doing
Good.
wonderful. Yes, it's been a long time in coming, but we are finally here. So Bishop Pinnock says we are hearing. Everything is loud and clear. Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciate that. Leslie Ann Campbell, good evening. Thank you for joining us. We also have Miss Creative Hands. God bless you. Thank you for joining us as well. We have Vern's Junk Closet, our YouTube family out there, always supporting. Thank you for joining us and sharing us out as well. So yes, we just want to greet and thank all of you for joining us for what is going to be a very monumental event, as we're going to be talking about this new launch of this wonderful show that these ladies and myself have put together. And we're going to tell you a little bit about what that show is going to all entail. But before we do that, I just want to introduce all of our guests and tell you a little bit about them before they formally introduce themselves. So we're going to start off with Dr. Nadine Wong. She is in the bottom right-hand corner. If you can just give us a wave, Dr. Wong. All right, so that is Dr. Wong. So let me just tell you a little bit about her. So she is the CEO of the Alabaster Wellness Clinic, which specializes in natural medicine. Dr. Wong was born and raised in Jamaica and now calls Canada her home for the last 30 years. She is a clinician who specializes in hair mineral analysis as the means to determine the possible causes of autoimmune disease, mental health issues, along with hair and scalp disorders. Dr. Wong is also the creator of Alabaster Beauty medicinal ointment cosmetic products. She's the author of 3 books. Dr. Wong is also board certified member of the American Drug List Association. I'm going to say that again. The American Drug List Association. All right. She has her Ph.D. in Trichology, which is the scientific study of hair and scalp disorders. She also has a Ph.D. in Cosmetology and a Ph.D. in counseling with a specialty in cognitive behavior therapy and integrative medicine. Wow, Dr. Wong, you are very busy, aren't you? Sheesh. Dr. Wong is also a board member of the following organizations: the World Organization of Natural Medicine, the Board of Integrative Medicine, and the Board of Natural Medicine. So it is very apparent that this young lady is very well accomplished and still in the pursuit of greatness. So Dr. Wong, I want to thank you for joining us for the second time. Yes, this is your second time here on the Come Up. So we just want to thank you for joining us here.
Thank you so very much for the invitation.
My pleasure, my pleasure. All right, so let's move on over to the top right, and that is Christine Grahame. If you can just give us a wave, Christine.
Hello.
Now you want to act all shy and bashful. All right, so let's tell you a little bit about Miss Christine. So she put her career in motion in 1994 when she landed her first corporate America job in the payroll data entry division of multi-billion human capital payroll and benefits company. Simultaneously, as the wife of a minister and mother of two young lads, she equally served for a startup ministry. Her natural flair for developing the children of praise and worship programs and theater and arts was soon discovered. She is a lifelong believer in Jesus Christ and a lover of the word. She has public speaking was a key factor in the church programs and also as an event programmer. She put tenacious spirit to achieve her certification in payroll management and continuous education in human resources. Her career for over 25 years has evolved into a global platform in leading payroll teams, expertise in compliance and risks. Christine was born in Kingston, Jamaica, and she migrated to Canada in 1975, and where she now resides in the beautiful city of Toronto, Canada. Over the past 20 years, she is an avid supporter of charities and organizations, of which she has served in the capacity of executive assistant and director. Her talents and abilities extend beyond managing funds and people. She is an up-and-coming author and public speaker. She dedicates her time to coaching and mentoring single women in their career and personal paths to help them find their true purpose through her Clear Ambitions mentoring program. So one of Christine's strongest attributes is her respect of herself and her respect of her craft. Christine's love and passion for serving others did not begin at the launch of her career, but with her 4 children, in which she also encouraged to reach and achieve their very best. She has a very dynamic personality who truly embraces the concept of a servant leadership. And she lives by the motto, don't just be inspired, but be inspiring. So that is Christine Grahame. All right, and so let's get a little intro for Diane Robinson, and she is there on the bottom left of your screen. If you can just give us a little wave. All right, very good, very good. So let's just tell you a little bit about Diane. So Diane is an event planner. She's an event hospitality manager and coordinator who has been a part of the arts community in a variety of roles. In addition, she works with numerous charity organizations and is a strong advocate against violence towards women, children, and of course, men, as we're going to be speaking about this evening. Diane is a tireless and very passionate worker that goes way beyond her call of duty to ensure that all of the tasks at hand are completed with great satisfaction and exceed their expectations. Ms. Robinson also operates her own jewelry and design company, and she has a skin and body care business. She has a love for psychology, dance, and also writing. She is very well versed in current affairs, as you will soon see as we get into any deep discussion this evening. So Diane, where are you originally from? Kingston, Jamaica?
Yes, I was born in Kingston, Jamaica.
Okay, good. And you currently reside in Toronto, Canada, correct?
Yes.
All right. And Diane's motto is words and actions must add up because one does not exist without the other. Is that it?
That is it.
All right. Very well, very well. All right. So greetings to you all, ladies. It is a pleasure and an honor to have you all on board this evening. So
thank you for having us.
It is my pleasure. Indeed, it is. So we're going to get to know a little bit about you ladies. We just want to know in brief. We want to get a brief description of what your childhood was like. We want to keep it short as possible. Just tell us about how it was for you ladies. You all are from Jamaica, so that will be your birthplace. How was that family dynamics? Any siblings? How was the family structure? And your economic status as a child growing up? So, Dr. Wong, we can start with you.
My family dynamics, I was considered to be privileged. I was raised in a home with mother and father, and I really never had a need for anything. The love was there, the support was there, and I just thrived on that. And through that, I've just evolved, and here I am. You said short and sweet, right?
Yeah.
In my home, with the love and support that I had from my parents, it allowed me to be very creative, as I've shared before on my previous interview with you. But needless to say, I was very, very comforted and very supported. And it was very effective to have both parents who were so different, but very centered in terms of, taking a special hand in raising me. So, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Christine, how about you? What is your background coming up?
Well, my background, Rob, is can be summed up with words of humble beginnings. So I was born in the Olympic Way, Kingston, Jamaica, and the Olympic Way is inspired by athletes. Now we represented, meaning Jamaica, represented the country back in 1947, the first Summer Olympics in London, England. So, humble beginnings. We didn't know, and I'm saying we because it's a community that we grew up in, that from those concrete jungle, if you will, came out 4 gold medalists. So I was born on McKinley Crescent, a tribute to Robert McKinley. There's a Relay Avenue, which my father was born on Relay Avenue, tribute to the 400 relay gold medalists. So this is the theme, if you will, of my childhood, you by any means necessary. So that being said, in 1975, I landed in Pearson, and my parents, they did absolutely, they went through and brought that whole by any means necessary, that whole Olympic Way theme throughout their life of there is no absolute defeat. So if you can absolutely embrace the, immigrants, 1975 in Canada, backwoods of, I won't say the space, but we love Canada. And in any case, you can understand. You can understand the adversities that they had to climb through. So that being said, I am passionate about the adversities that we're going to speak about tonight because I'll speak more in regards to why I'm so passionate about Dr. Wong and this project and how it came about. So I say my childhood is a tribute to humble beginnings and overcoming.
Awesome. Good evening, Miss Minna. Good to have you. Thank you for joining us this evening. All right, so Diane, we're up to you now. So
childhood, born in Kingston, Jamaica. My parents weren't married, but I was raised by my father's family, grew up with my grandparents and my uncle. My home life was one of love, support, encouragement. I was encouraged to speak my mind, be respectful of others. But it was also a very privileged lifestyle. grew up in politics, so I do have a love-hate relationship with politics.
Uh-oh.
I've seen the
Uh-oh.
good, bad, and ugly sides of it, but privileged, in all senses. I also went to a private school. So that was my home. That was my life. It was not the same when I came to Canada in 1978. It was much different. But
Okay.
because of how I was raised,
Mm-hmm.
the transition was fairly flawless. Not having the trappings of privileges that I had in Jamaica didn't affect me as
Okay.
much.
Mm-hmm. All right. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So now let's talk about the show. All right. So, Dr. Wong, this is your baby. You have birthed this. So tell us about the Now Talk Show. What is this all about?
The Now Talk Show it's a platform for men to feel safe enough to express themselves and bring us into their now. I'll tell you the origin of the show, and like everything that has come out of something bad, something good is birthed. So
Amen.
we have been impacted by the pandemic of the COVID-19 virus,
Yep.
and my being a part of an organization, the CEA family, we literally, have or various types of meeting. And based on the success of that meeting, I said, we should really just expand this globally. We should expand connecting with persons for them to share their story. And that's all I said. All I said. Then
Yep.
the next thing I know, I got a phone call from Miss Christine over there in the top right in the royal
Mhm.
blue. And she said, Bishop Pinnock, which is our bishop, said, and I went, what? Said? And then she said, and Brother Rob, which is yourself. Well, I said,
Uh,
but all I said was, we should. I never said I. And she said, he said. So if the man of God said, then the man of God, God himself must have. Yeah. And you know how passionate I am about interconnection. So the
yes.
connection from God, the connection from our pastor, the connection from Christine that connected you. Here I am. And then, of course, Diane and I have been friends for a very long time. A very,
Very
very
long.
long time. If it's been over 20 years, we're sisters. And I just reached out to her and said, listen, again, you've heard her diverse background. She really brings balance and order. And as a result of that, I said, okay, well, let's do this. So the overall
Okay.
objective of the Now Talk Show is focused on men. According to the word of God, men were created to bring order. That's the reason God made them, tilt the field, create the work, and so on. You put things in order. So I wanted to actually maintain that because I don't give birth to men. God obviously did that. But I want this platform to be a place where we're maintaining that order. Because even though men are men, they still need, which is where women come in, they still need that support group. They still need to feel safe and to feel comforted and to be encouraged. And should they not be going on the right path, we can kind of nudge them in a very loving manner. So this is the platform in a sense for them to express themselves without any kind of judgment and for them to come back to their original design, like purpose, clarity, and order. So we want to highlight everybody has gone through some kind of adversity, some kind of a trials. And to be honest, I mean, from experience, and we all know this from experience. You heard Christine speak about humble beginnings, but here she is today with all these different accolades. So at the end of the day, through trials, which is important because the trials is really what makes you into who you are. And that's really what it's a safe platform for persons, for men particular, to express themselves. Now, should a wife, a helpmate, decide she wants to accompany her husband or partner, we are open to that as well. But it's for men to lead on this platform. So that's the overall concept of it.
Okay. Very good. All right. Yeah. And so the show is going to launch on Monday, June the 22nd, the day after Father's Day. How
That's correct.
appropriate.
We have to
And
keep honoring our men. Yes.
yes, that's going to be airing on the Now Talk Show Facebook page and also the Now Talk Show YouTube channel. So I'm going to drop those links in the comment sections. So I want to encourage our guests to go over and subscribe to the YouTube channel and also like that Facebook page and turn on the notifications. So then when the show does air live, you will get notified and be able to tune in and watch these segments as they come forth.
That's correct.
So, Diane, this question is for you. So now, Dr. Wong, yeah, I'm going to stir that pot up a little bit now.
Ah,
All right, so Dr. Wong told us about what the Now Talk Show is all about.
Hmm.
Why now?
Why now?
Why now?
Men have always had a background seat in the arena of emotion and mental health. We have
Okay.
talk shows geared to women all the time, and I think this pandemic, orchestrated in many different ways, has brought to light the mental, emotional wellness that men do not have in place for them. And we have everybody at home. We're now forced to speak to the family member we don't like so much and the ones we like that much. And in doing so, we are starting to realize that men are silently screaming while they smile.
Okay.
Men, some men have difficulties in expressing their emotions and understanding what is being said. So the conversations are being lit. The conversations are being had because you're in four walls. You can't go very far. And it's forcing you to introspect in yourself. So I think now is the perfect time. We have the pandemic has given us undivided attention. So
Okay. Very good. Thanks, Vern, for connecting over there with the Now Talk Show YouTube channel. Greatly appreciate that. Vern's is always a great supporter, and she will be sure to put the word out and encourage others to go over and check out the show. So just want to thank you for that, sis. Greatly appreciate it.
thank you.
So, Sister Christine, let me ask you now. So, do you feel that most men in general have a problem with expressing themselves?
Do I feel that most men in general have a problem expressing themselves?
Mhm.
I would say that folks express themselves in different ways, in different forms. So
Okay.
it would be a bias answer. My response would be that there is a lot of platforms where the audience that's hearing needs to hear. So therefore, a lot of times comments are being preached to the choir, if you will. There's, the old boys clubs or the sports clubs and so forth where they can express themselves, but the folks that need to hear it are not there. So this is where you get the, that wall of communication where we think that the men are not talking, but men speak. And that's why I'm excited about the Now Talk Show, because we're going to hear and see and experience the different silent languages of men. A lot of times, the women are vocal, of course. Here we are. Brother Rob, you are of the minority on the show. And case in point, the women are vocal, and sometimes, there's a lot being said in silence. And so the gestures, sometimes we feel that we're not being heard, but in that silence and that action, Diane's point in her motto about actions following up with words, you learn to know the language that's being shouted, if you will, for so long that we've missed the mark. And I think again it's because of the audience, again, comfort zones. Dr. Wong touched on comfort zones as well. So the Now is a comfortable safe space for folks to say what they need to say and log off. We're on Facebook Live. There's no one to meet you in the parking lot. There's no one, you know what I mean? So I think that in regards to your answer, what do I think they're being heard? They're being heard by the wrong audience. So this is a platform for them to be heard by all. They're preaching to the choir. They're talking to their boys, if you will. They're talking to their pals and so forth, or in secret, because they're afraid of the responses. So now they can say it and they let it be known. So that's my answer.
Okay.
That they're being heard, but not by the right people.
All right, all right. So were you also saying that men talk in sign language?
Yeah, they have a different code.
Yes, we do. We definitely do.
Thank you.
I'm first to admit that. Yes, we do.
Yeah, they have a different.
We don't really verbalize, but facial and body language.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And might I add that men actually are a lot more spiritual than they're given credit for. Very spiritual. So the communication, a lot of times men will pick up, if you will, they'll pick up what's called the slang would be vibes. They pick up vibrations. They pick up energy. And so a lot of times a man will sense, walk in the room, do a surveillance, and sense that something is going on. He'll be silent about it, and that's because of the way how they really interact with a different energy. So
I would like to add to that. That which Christine just described is men's natural instinct as hunters.
Oh.
You walk in the room and you got it. And you know exactly who you'll pray. That's right, Brother Rao. And then you just sit back. You watch a lion, when he goes and he sniffs around, to see the weak has a certain fragrance that they don't want to get close to. But the one that says, raw blood, they just get in position and launch. So that's it. That's just your instinct. And we want to harvest that. We want to harvest that.
Yes. So, men, I'm telling you, tune in. You're going to get a whole new perspective about yourselves and how we interact and handle different situations and things. So, yes, this is something that we all need to tune into and get a reflection of ourselves. So, yeah, this is going to be greatly worthwhile.
I would like to add to Brother Rob, by no means are we trying to take away from men. They're going to help us as well. We're helpmates. They're going to help us, because in order for a woman to understand a man has to show us. You are managers, you're leaders, you're pioneer. So predominantly feel safe enough to teach us, because as a real helpmate, we recognize that we can't do it alone. Mm-hmm. And if what you're expressing, the language you're expressing, verbally or non-verbally, we are very receptive. There's no intuition like a woman's intuition.
Yeah.
Okay. That's just it. So we need you to feel safe enough to help us to help you by expressing however you feel best. So these are some of the takeaways to come and to actually participate, to connect with the show, because it's a learning tool for all of us.
True.
Mm-hmm. But sometimes women can't handle the truth.
It's not what you say, but how you say it. Now, as a man, if you really want to tap into a woman, we're more emotional, not cry emotional. But you know what? You have to connect with us, because our curves, and they're not going anywhere. That's just how God has made us. Our curves is not going anywhere. So if we are the way we are, that's how we are designed. So if you can find a way to say what you have to say, but how you say it, get into the curves of a woman, it fits better than if you go against the curve, you're going to create some frictions. And that's what you consider to be tatty and miserable and oh my gosh, and the rolling of the eyes. But you have to find a way to get into her curves, because that's what a curve is. It's designed to fit, the perfect fit. So the communication is two ways.
All right, so you will have to educate us on that, because I'm lost. That's what I go into to my sign language mode. I'm like,
and that's okay. That's okay. If you go into your sign language mode, that's okay. It's still a form of communication. And I mean, your wife has her part too in terms of expressing how best she will receive what you're saying in spite of the words. So communication is it's on two ends. It's not just as a man or as a woman. We have to sit and talk, find the right rhythm, the right tone. Some people best learn by writing notes. Some person is verbal. Some people listen. I don't want to see you. I just want to hear. So it could be a phone or something. That's what I mean. Fit into the curves. How best it fits the person.
all right, excellent. All right, so ladies, let's talk about your roles within the show. So Christine, let's start with you. So what is your main role with the talk show?
Okay, so in regards to the role for the show, I think Dr. Wong touched on that as the phone call she received. And we were inspired to get on the phone right away, I believe that same day. And I must say, thank you, Bishop Pinnock, for your insight. He absolutely is a visionary. And he absolutely is a visionary. And in regards to just the passion and in which the spirit came together with us, and we were on the phone with yourself and Sister Althea, who's not on the line. Lovely woman who we were brainstorming, and I think it was meant to be a half an hour introduction call, and I think at least 2.5 hours later, and Sister Althea came up with, why don't we just call it the now? So I just thought that's awesome, and Dr. Wong, of course, that resonated with her as well. So my role is to absolutely path the vision of the show in regards to, if someone's coming on, look at a bio and see what's not there, and have those poignant questions that really folks will put together a nice narrative, if you will. And then our job, especially as the executive producer, is to draw out those veins that make up the man, and where they lead to, and really the heartbeat of what drives him, what motivates him to even try again. And that's really the passion and guts of the show for us to bring that forward.
All right, excellent. Diane, your role?
I am the production manager. So the behind the scenes, correspondence is administration, keeping Nadine on track. Keeping the team on track.
There you go.
Yes, keeping the entire team on track, and assisting in other areas that I might be needed.
Absolutely. Okay. Excellent. Dr. Wong?
My role. I am the host. My role is to connect and engage with the audience as much as the gentleman who is courageous to come on board, to express, to share, to invite me into his world, even for the 45 minutes, an hour, and to leave a poignant point that would resurrect not just with me, but with the audience. So the overall role is to tap into his psychosocial, his psychosis. And
here we go.
What did I say?
I'm just messing with you.
What did I say?
Don't say you don't mind.
Yeah, just getting to how he thinks, and for him to feel safe enough to share that and then to express it. But the overall takeaway is just to have an engaging conversation, and for the interviewer to feel comfortably enough to just express themselves. Because it's gonna, expression is a form of just being vulnerable. But in order for one to be vulnerable, you have to have a connection. So the overall is the connection. Connect with him, and what he's saying, and just, as I said, kind of lead him in a way that he will express himself. That the meat and potato of everything he's saying, it's food for us. It leaves some substance. So it's a takeaway.
Okay, excellent, very good. All right. So I'm going to pose this question to the audience first, and then I would like for you ladies to respond to it. So the question is for our listening audience, I want you to type in the comment section. What are some topics that you would like to be discussed on the talk show? What are some things that you would like men come on to the show and talk about? So please, if you would, type those in the comments, and I'm going to ask our guests, our staff, our team to respond to that as well. So what are some topics, team, that you would like to see discussed on the talk show?
I'm very passionate about order. And I'm passionate about how to bring forth order. So I would like to see, I mean, we're going to touch on the intimacy. We're going to touch on business and finances and, you know, a bit of politics and so forth. And somewhat that's generic. I would like to get more into the emotional aspect. Stuff like, and I cry. Why did you cry? You know, where did you cry? That awakening moment, pivotal point that says, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore, or I've come to the term that I need to change this or make some kind of adjustment. That's really what I'm looking for, along with all the other, you know, generic stuff that is very important to talk about. But I want to I want to tap into the softer side that does exist in men, as rough and tough as you come across. But I really want to get into that aspect of it as well. I want to see that in terms of, you know, formulate it in questions, and of course in future guests as they come. So that's one thing I would like to see more of.
Okay, awesome. Diane, Christine, anything?
For me, for the men, and it touches on what Dr. Wong says. For everything that we do, there is a root cause behind it. Our reactions are from a root cause. And
Absolutely.
until you've gotten you've gone into yourself to search and to address the areas of your life that put you on a path that you are where the habits that you have, they're either going to elevate you or break you down. And if you don't understand why you do what you do, then you will continually do the same thing. So to break that which keeps you down, to break that which keeps you in a cycle of, I can't believe I just did that again, or, you know, it's, you need to understand who you are. And a lot of us will say, oh, I want to do that. But change is a barometer of your faith in yourself and your trust in God, because change is like standing in a football field and every single light is on and you are the center of it. So are you willing to face the change, even though you might be afraid of what it reveals about you to you and about you to others? Right. And once you can get to that point and then step over the fear, I think it makes whoever he is with, whoever she is with, that is a forceful relationship that can't be broken. And that is somebody who cannot be broken and intimidated by, say, somebody who's a narcissist. Right. So.
Okay. Awesome. Christine?
Oh, do we want to hear what the audience is saying first?
They have not responded as of yet.
Okay, they're being shy. I want to get in their business. I want to hear about a show that's dedicated to the first heartbreak and how did you get over it? Because in my experience, oddly enough, men from high school talking to men that are in their 50s, 40s, talking about the first girl that broke their heart and how they would never love again. And you have the snowball effect and you're 54 years old. I want to hear about the first heartbreak. How did you get over it? And I think, well, Dr. Wong can pull some stuff out of that. And
Sure.
so that's my
Sure.
topic, the first heartbreak.
All right. Excellent. Excellent. All right. So how can someone schedule themselves or uh, inquire about coming on to be a guest on the show? How can they do that, Dr. Wong?
We have an email that they would just email us at the now talk show doctor, which is just DRN Wong at gmail.com. And we'd be
Okay.
more than happy. We'd be more than happy to acknowledge you and schedule an interview time. And in that, just going forward.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. All right, folks. So yes, I'm going to put the email address in the comments section. So if you would like to be a guest on the Noun Talk Show, and they have to be a male, correct?
Notice what I said. It is for men. However, should you have a partner, a helpmate, he needs the helpmate to express his story, she can always accompany him.
All righty. All righty then. All right. So there you have it. So yes, I'm going to post the email address there, and you are more than welcome to respond and apply to be a guest on the Noun Talk Show. So let me ask you.
Sorry, Brother Rob. I want to add that we're also on Instagram and Facebook. So Messenger and Instagram messages as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, and may I add? Whoa. May I add this? Another incentive. We are visionary women and men. The Now Talk Show will be having our mixer, her singles mixer.
Yeah.
Okay. So email us, not just because you want to come on the show, because you want to receive our newsletter, so we can send it out to you to give you an update, right? That we're literally going to be having this. It could be in wine country. It could be on the Caribbean Sea. It could be right here in Toronto. It could be in America. Okay, so it's the platform. We're speaking to men. We're speaking to husbands. We're speaking to potential husbands. And as a result of that, we really need to get your contact, and potential wives. We need to get your contact. So definitely we can do that, because we really want to. This particular vision of this is, yes, it's for men, but the interconnection is for people, because connection is the most powerful thing that God has given us. And that's really what this is about. So we're connecting with men, but we will be doing a mixer at, let's say, the end of the year, perhaps. And we want to get your contact, so we definitely can, create our own kind of, put our own kind of, what's the word, seal on it. Let's say the Holy Ghost seal on it, so we can just celebrate the connection that God has given us. So your information is important.
Absolutely. So Vern's left a comment. She's interested in some of your black hair care products. So if you can share some information about that before we move on to our next question.
Sure. Thank you very much for the inquiry. On my website, alabasterwellness.com, under products, you would see all the variety of products that my company produce. So here's the thing about the products that I make. They are for hair. They are for beautiful women like yourself, beautiful people. It's not created based on gender. It's based on hair. So the science of it, once hair grows out of your body, it will complement, it will enhance it. So I'm not sure that the challenge or what you would like to enhance, but there is the products itself, the foundation of it is derived with just minerals, because minerals are the spark plugs to our lives, and it helps our body to thrive. It doesn't clog the pores. It doesn't impact the autoimmune system, making you feel sluggish and so on. So all the products that is produced from our sponsor, the Alabaster Wellness Clinic, via Alabaster Beauty Ointment. They are natural derived. They're actually made to order, so there's no preservatives in them. So I'll be more than happy to fulfill an order, or should you need further information where we can compose a particular product for you, feel free to reach out to me on the website or the email, which is, well, we have the website here, but it's the actual email for the clinic is info@alabasterwellness.com. And we're more than happy to create or formulate a cosmetic product for you, and then we can just take it from there. So thank you for the inquiry.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Very good. All right. So next question for you ladies. So let me ask you. So who are some men that you admire and why? Don't all speak so suddenly.
Well, for me, he was an activist in Jamaica, and he's one of our national heroes, and his name is Paul Bogle. He was a Baptist minister, and he was also as well an activist. And when he as in his travels around the country, and he started to notice a lot of the horrors of slavery, the horrors of post-slavery. He gathered like-minded people, men and women, and it was about 500 of them that came together to protest against what was happening to his people, his beautiful black women and black men and children. And subsequently he was killed, but he's one person I'd like to sit and speak with, because to be a black man in those days, to decide that whether I live or I die, I must stand against the injustices of another human towards another human, simply because of the color of our skin. And, tying in with what's happening now, I would love to sit and ask him, what did you feel? How were you feeling? We know in the Bible that Moses intervened in an altercation between an Egyptian and one of his brothers. And when I say brothers, meaning one from his tribe. And he had to flee, because when he intervened, the next time he saw that individual fighting against one of his own, and he tried to intervene, the person turned and said to him, well, are you going to kill me too? So asking him, did you ever fear that somebody you're trying to help would turn around and expose what you're doing? Did you stop to think of what would happen to your family? So many things that is mirroring what's happening now. I would love to have a conversation with him.
Awesome.
For me,
okay.
May I go next?
Sure.
For me, this was a very loaded question, because it's a loaded question because I'm just thinking of so many great men, including my father. Including my father. He's not a perfect man, but he demonstrated the quality of a father, which is not something that we really talk about. But my daddy for sure. But there is one person that is very iconic for me, especially with just my overall exposure in the sense of education, where when I kept just studying, and I'm still studying, and it's like, why are you doing this? What's the point of doing this? You've already accomplished this, stop. And it brings me back to one of the famous quotes of one of our national hero that didn't just impact Jamaica, but impacted the world, especially in Africa, and it's Marcus Garvey, when he speaks about knowledge. And if we don't have the knowledge of who we are, of our past, of our culture, is like a tree without root. And I'm big on minerals. Minerals are, our foundation. And without the foundation, without proper foundation, we cannot build up. And the world is not flat. So for me is what else is there? So there's knowledge, and the word of God says that through his knowledge we are delivered. So that just ties in to everything for me, that if the world is not flat, well, since the world is not flat and is round, how is it rotating? How is it connecting? What's the interconnection? The word of God says that we are a product of the earth. So we have roots. As Diane said, what is the root cause as to why we have some trees that bear blossoms, some trees that bear fruits, and some trees that don't? So that his language excites me and provokes me to continually, I need to know more. I need to know more. I share before that when I started out, I was just like, well, I was just told, why don't you just go and, just do something that has to do with style and flair. And here I am, how many years later, on the opposite of what causes the impact of the style and the flair and beyond, and how everything connects. So Marcus Garvey for sure. He's one of those great men that I would like to sit down and just say, okay, let's have some tea, let's talk, and just see what I could extract, what further I can extract apart from what he has left, and even persons who have walked with him. I've been watching Heroes, which is a great documentary of the movement of impactful Caribbean leaders from out of Trinidad and Jamaica and stuff that actually was very monumental in shifting and molding and restructuring Ghana and other parts of Africa. And it's like, how is the Caribbean, little Caribbean island, it impacted great countries? That's not in our history book. That kind of a knowledge. I do this particular project with my children's charity, and we expose them to other children of their pair around the world. And I remember once we had a topic of who are the first origins of your country. And of course, I connected them with the First Nation Indians here in Toronto, Canada. So at the end of it, the logical questions the kids in the Caribbean ask, if the first settlers were Indians, native Indians in Canada, and the first settlers in Jamaica were the Arawak Indians, who is Christopher Columbus? Which comes back to the very poignant thing that Marcus Garvey says, if we don't teach our children that the root is, we are the fruit of such a root, then we will grow up to feel that we're just branches. We have no purpose, which is our leaves and our sheds and our fruits. So I would love to just a minute of his time would be most impactful for me.
Awesome.
Wow.
Christine, you want to touch on it?
I have two characters, and it's Stephen Biko. I won't go too much details on who Stephen Biko was. Everyone can Google it. It's an awesome read. Second, it would be Nelson Mandela. So Nelson Mandela and Stephen Biko, they have their connection through adversity. They're both thrown in prison for a number of years. And what I would love to speak to them about is that how they kept alive in such a horrific and beaten, nearly starved to death. But there was a will inside of them, and I just love the tenacity of their story, where you can kill the flesh, but you can't kill the spirit. And Amen. These men went through and absolutely icons when it comes to the absolute need for men in the society and need for men to create balance, like Dr. Wong was saying earlier about the balance that men bring to not only to the room, but to the world. Those are my two men.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Love that. All right. So you just say something here now. So as you're listening to these young ladies here, they're speaking and giving us great insights. So we have three very strong, independent young ladies before us here today. And during our conversations, we have talked about many different things, and they have expressed some pains and displeasures that they have endured at the hands of men, but still in all, they are not bitter, and they are strongly advocating for men to have a voice and for them to be heard. So my question to you ladies is why? Why is that?
Why not?
Why,
Why not?
Why not? Remember, may I go first? Yeah?
things?
Why not? Without men, there's no order. Without men, there is no root. We are the fruits.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the law. So however you want to dissect it, however you want to fluff it up, we need you. We are strong, independent women.
Yeah.
And the beauty about women who are confident, they know what they need. And they know what they need enough to know what they will not accept. So it's not a matter of we're strong, and because we're so strong, be intimidated by us. No, you embrace the strength because this is what helpmate does.
Mm-hmm.
But the order is, men, you are order. That's your original design. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Diane?
Drop the mic.
Yeah. Come on.
Why not men? Why not get to know the XY part of you? We are we're designed to be relational.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as it will say, people say I'm great, by myself, and I'm one of those that will say, because I'm an introvert, believe it or not. There is something in companion with somebody who is on the same mental wavelength as you are. And when you see an individual, and I'm talking about platonic as well. This is not about the strict intimacy of an intimate relationship, the intimacy of relationships, period. And what sweeter, most awesome thing to see as a man who is all that he can be and all that he is in the confidence and the beauty of himself. And that comes forth from allowing him to be able to express himself, guiding him to the tools that are needed for him to become the king that he was created to be.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Very good. Very good.
Wow.
Christine?
I'm going to ask you to repeat the question, please.
All right. So the question is, being the strong, independent women that you ladies are,
Mm-hmm.
and you have had some bad experience regarding with men. So how is it that you are still so strongly advocating for them to have their voice?
I spoke in the beginning about my background being in Kingston, Jamaica. And my father had me, he was about 18, shy of 18 years old. And I believe in hindsight that if he had platforms available to him like this, my parents would have made it through all the adversities that I saw and witnessed. So this is my, this is my servant leadership, if you will, contribution to not only the society, but looking back at a young man, and there's many out there that are young fathers that absolutely, no fault of their own, role models and so forth. And I now in hindsight, I could see where things were being said but not heard. And this is where I feel that now is very relevant, because I like I said, I think folks like my father, who were young, drawn up by the pants, and here's life, and here's adulthood, and here's fatherhood, here's manhood. And this, I pray that this platform will give someone a voice, someone an inspiration to be the best version of themselves as men. And I celebrate that. Didn't give up, and I won't give up, because God never gave up on us. Amen. So I think that the now is relevant and very much so needed, a safe platform. And this is my inspiration. It is coming from my father, in knowing that if he had an opportunity for someone to guide him, a beacon, if you will, to guide him and say, hey, this is the way, it's okay, it would have been a different outcome. So that's it.
So what I get from you ladies is you're saying the men really need an outlet to be able to voice themselves, express themselves verbally, get more feedback from a female's perspective as to have better interactions with our mates. Would you say that to be correct?
That is true, because who best to say a woman, this is what a woman is like, but another woman? And yes, who best to tell us what a man is like, but another man? Yes, we know that there are individuals out there who have been hurt, and they've been hurt so deeply that they cannot get past the hurt. But until we're able to really sit down and say, hey, here is the root of me, we're not going to get to that. So it has to start somewhere.
Okay.
And might I add, in regards to your question, Brother Robin, in regards to whether or not it's a platform to speak about relationships, in relation to what I spoke about just a moment ago in regards to my father, this is a young man who's Rastafarian, and he had to cut his locks before he came past the airport. And so the systematic issues, that absolutely, take away the identities of our men, the confidence, if you will, of putting on, your man, your big man pants, so to speak, and if that's a saying. But in any case, the absolute, the systematic compulsion of the man's ego. And I'm not saying ego in a bad way. It is needed. Confidence is needed. A man needs his ego. And so I love the platform, that the vision of the now, that we're going to talk about that. It's not just about relationships and brokenness on that sense, but you're talking about a man who's trying to do something, and so many different avenues and issues coming against him, and not excuses, but absolute bona fide reasons, and deliberate. So this is what a piece of what I saw, where a young man had to overcome, his own identity, had to give up his own identity in the sense in order to get his family through the airport. So I look forward to deep discussions, deep dives like that with Dr. Wong.
Absolutely. Dr. Wong, you want to add anything to that?
I think my ladies have said it well.
Yes, they have. Indeed, they have. All right, question for you, Dr. Wong. All right, so if one of your guests comes on and they have some real deep underlying issues, will you be able to help them with that or steer them in the right direction to get some help with those issues?
I can confidently say we the entity of the Alabaster Wellness Clinic, we offer a psychotherapy. We offer different clinical, psychological treatments as well. And we'll be more than happy to assist in therapy. Should they be far away, there's also virtual therapy as well. And they can always come to the clinic, which is located in Toronto, in Pickering, to be exact, 1400 Bailey Street, Unit 8A in Pickering, Ontario. And the landmark is right next to Pickering GO Station. So by all means, we'll be able to offer a complete wellness service through the mineral aspect that manifests in the psychological aspect or the physical integrative aspect. And we're able to provide the complete wellness program for them.
All right, so talk to us a little bit about the mineral analysis and all of that. What is that all about?
So minerals are the spark plugs to our lives. I like to use the analogy of a car. When you press the ignition or you turn your key, that charge that sends the message to the battery. So the equivalent of the battery of a car is your brain, is your body system. So in order for us even to sit upright as we're doing, we're interacting, we're formulating our words, to sleep, to have desires for pleasant things, it requires the interconnection of minerals. And minerals are found in the human body at the trace level, and the trace level is logged in our hair. So the monumental statement I always say is through your hair, there's wellness. So through the hair itself, which is sent to the lab, it's processed. And from that, when I look at the actual lab report, it actually gives me a data as to really what is happening, what has happened, what is happening, and possible what is about to happen. It's not a diagnostic tool. We're not there to diagnose any of the person's clients that come. I'm not a medical doctor in a sense to do that, but it's definitely a very intimate guide that was used to customize a program for a person. And it's not just a person who perhaps are not, you're not feeling optimal, or there are obvious symptoms, whether it's the alopecia, which is the losing of the hair, the dryness of the skin, or just feeling like every time you sleep, you get up, you feel like you're just in a quicksand. It's not just about that. It's person also who want to maintain good health as well, because absorption is the first line of defense. And if you're eating, you're doing all the mechanical stuff, but the body self is not absorbing the minerals, not connecting, you're still going to have a challenge. So the very thing you're running from in terms of maintaining optimum health, if the minerals are off, you will never accomplish it, or accomplish it to the best of your capacity. So that's the first thing that is introduced to the client, the mineral analysis. And then from that, we're able to formulate a customized program for you. And like your fingerprint, no one person has the same print. So we're very confident in 100% result that when you go through that methodology, you will definitely accomplish optimum health in knowing what is happening in terms of the root cause. And should it be a cause that is something that we can work with in terms of reducing or eliminate, or it could be something at least now you know what it is, you can definitely steer yourself away from it.
Awesome. Wow, very insightful. Okay, thank you for that. So yeah, at the bottom of your screen, you can see the link to the actual website for the Alabaster Wellness Clinic, and it is alabasterwellness.com. I'm also going to share the link for the Facebook page and the YouTube channel as well. So I want to encourage you once again to tune in to the show every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And it's going to be here on Facebook and also on YouTube. And you can go over to the Now Talk Show Facebook page and also the Now Talk Show YouTube channel. All right, so we're going to get our last question, and then we are going to wrap things up for this evening. All right, so Okay, so our last question is going to be, so how has this pandemic affected you ladies and your families? So whoever wants to start with that.
I I actually I want to say that I actually love this experience because, as I stated before, out of what was bad, the COVID, it has allowed me to connect more with persons in parts
Yes.
of the world on levels that, you know, what it would be like, how expensive it would be to get on a plane, you know, to get into their region, to reach out to them. So
Right.
the plus side for me, I I was able to connect with so many persons that perhaps I would have never seen in my lifetime. I
That's
mean,
right.
at home it's great. You know, for me it's I I'm a nature person, so I still got up in the morning and utilized nature, getting out, going for a run, coming back in, cooking foods that were mineral derived in terms of maintaining my autoimmune system. And basically, when I can, you know, just try to get up there and smile with someone because interconnection the body thrives on. And in spite of the quarantine, I'm very mindful of the power of bacteria, which is really what we are. And we thrive on that. So at some point in the course of the day, just to go out and nod to someone, keeping social distance, it really fueled me. But the takeaway is, oh my gosh, the connection that came out of this. I am just so grateful to God for it because in my lifetime, it would have never happened on the level that, you know, this particular baby, as you described, is as a result of the quarantine. Otherwise, more likely would be about her business and hi, hello in that little box. But,
Yep. Yep.
you know, so that's one of the takeaway for me.
Awesome. Diane, I think you're muted, Diane.
Is that better? Can you hear me now?
That's better.
Yes.
Yep. You know.
Sorry. So for me, it has been an even keel. I am it, being able to connect more with friends and family has definitely been the upside of it.
Okay.
Um, and my reading has upped a bit. I am a reader, but when you
Yep.
are busy, that gets that's the first thing that goes, and being able to get back on track with that, and just spending some time with me to get to know Diane at this stage of her life.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always maintained a contact with my close friends and family. But so it hasn't really changed how I do things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For
Chris-
myself, it's created a sense of urgency.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm,
wake up one morning and I get an email that we're not to come into the office until further notice. Doesn't change much. We can work from home. That's fine. But then after 4 weeks, you're okay. And then I have to go to the grocery store and line up. So they keep reminding me, ma'am, please, you need to line up. And I was like, why did something happen across the globe affect me lining up at the grocery store? And it made me really have a reality check of, okay, um, the one thing constant, of course, is God and our Lord and Savior. Um, Other than that, good luck. So so I was like, okay, so I have to make sure, I pick up on the exercising and the daily routine, and it was okay. And then I was like, 8 weeks went by, and I was like, okay. Um, what I discovered was, yeah, again, a sense of urgency. Um, I always kept myself busy, but yeah, it became a nearly a 24-hour day because it's just you have to get everything done, and you want to make sure you keep busy and productive, and you don't know if someone's going to cough on you, so all that. So I was I wasn't paranoid. And I know, I wasn't paranoid about all that, but the essence of change and the reality of it, between, I have to say the Black Lives Matter movement that came about most recently, huge change. I believe that's a positive wave. And then, the COVID-19, which we're still in, but we're getting used to it. So I'm like, hold on a second, we're still in a pandemic. So, you can't get used to it, because when you're in a smoky room, then you don't see the smoke anymore. So I don't want to be long-winded. You want to hear what I got out of it was a different paradigm shift on how to use the time, right? And a paradigm shift of, it's okay to use time for me too. Diane, to your point, Dr. Wong, yes, I can do 10,000 steps. I can walk 5Ks. Like in last year, this time you told me I could walk 5 kilometers. Like, no, I don't have time for that. Well, I did it. So, and my kids, they're wonderful cooks. God bless them. And my daughter had an awesome cheesecake. Yeah. So be on sale soon. So that discovered, I discovered that to get busy, and even after this season, which I know it will end, but what the takeaway is, making the most out of the time, but making time for yourself too, because at the end of the day, no one's indispensable, but what you're doing for God and what you're doing to create a impact in humanity. That's why this now is time well spent for me. It's my pleasure, absolute pleasure, to be a part of the team.
Definitely. As for me, just going to say, for me, it has really make me self-evaluate myself more, become more focused in knowing that, we cannot depend on working for somebody else. We have to put some type of structure or business in place to create financial stability for ourselves, because, when the pandemic first started, a lot of people found themselves out of work. They were losing their jobs. They had no income coming in. So it just really made me reflect back and say that, I got to stop procrastinating and just go full force and do everything that's possible to make sure my business goes and launches out to the next level. And that's what I really have done. And I'm really starting to see the fruits of that. And I'm just very encouraged by what's happening and things that are going to transpire in the very near future. So I just want to encourage each and every one of you that are listening out there, pursue your goals, pursue your dreams, and do not become complacent and waiting for your jobs or other opportunities to come through. You have to go out there and make it happen for yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you. So that is my biggest takeaway from going through this pandemic. Yes.
Awesome.
So, family, do you have any questions for us before we close things out for this evening? If so, please leave it in the comment section below. And I believe our sister Diane wants to share some little poetry with us. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
This is a piece I wrote a few years ago, and I was just reminded of it. It embodies everything of the structure of men and women in an intimate, platonic way. The cry of each to hear each other, and also to know that you are the foundation for each other. And it will explore all the different aspects of the male mind, of the female mind, and the relationship between men and women. Egg, sperm, DNA admixture to be 1, 2, or many. Female XX and male XY chromosomes, ultimate culmination of two becoming one bond that forms another triunion, the spear and the fruit, the nurturer and the warrior. Multiplicity of two equal in one unique individual, not the cosmic explosion, but divine selection. New being with developing emotions and psychological understanding. I am man, I am woman, two, yet one. I am he that is wired to hunt and given the role of protector, the high priest of the home. I guide spiritually, stimulated physically. I pursue not to conquer, but to acquire. Practical in nature, emotions hidden within vulnerability, seen as distance. Loving the heights of your breasts and the sensitivity of your nipples, I pay close attention to the nectar valley between your legs because that is where ecstasy beckons my willing responses. The curvature of your fine derriere anchors me to you passionately, built to achieve pleasure while depositing myself into you. My love is hard to gain, but when I give it, death shall be the only means of departure. My silence should not be misinterpreted as a lack of interest or exclusion. It is essential that you, my counterpart, help me distinguish the difference. I internalize my processing of a situation and work quickly to produce a solution. Mentally cutting through the distraction of peripheral jargon, I proudly present the end result. Yes, I am strong and exteriorly I am hard and unbothered, but your lack of support will diminish my self-worth. I'm in standing with me. You allow me to embrace all aspects of my uniqueness, gaining my male strength that physiologically can never be palpably measured. Here I am, she who from the dawn of time was meant to be your partner, fashioned with intuition to fit perfectly within the puzzle of you. She who is the rebar of your foundation. This vulnerable exterior covers a strength equals to yours, yet not physical. I am the receiver of your passion and the nurturer of your emotional contentment, cradling you during times of doubts. My sensitivity to your needs warms the numbness of incertitude, spiritually created to see into you, man. Verbally, I will outtalk you, and yes, I know it will annoy you at times. Communication, however, is the key to getting into the depths of me, helpmate. As I understand, you are not being entirely unreceptive to me when I bring forth an issue. It is imperative you realize my speech releases my anxieties, my fears, and my desires. When I convey the thoughts within my female mind, you should perceive I'm really just telling you I trust you to take care of us. Designed to be your resting peace, infusing you with my presence. My loyalty is infinite. I will follow where you lead, yet always think in multiple ways to ensure success. I champion you, man. Intuitively sensing emotions, I curve myself around you to give space. Yet I protect with the ability to decipher the motives of those within social and administrative spheres. My body, fashioned to carry the physical love of two. My emotions are infatuous with my sexuality, physically resembling many of the female gender. I may not respond to the same techniques. You have to take time to learn me, all of me as I learn all of you. With the right sense of touch and pace, release will be the result. However, as skilled as you are, orgasms are achieved because I have reached a level of intimate, emotional, and mental security in your ability to provide, protect, and love me, us. My mind is the key to unlocking all you need, exploring my thoughts as I explore yours. Ensuring I'm grounded in the knowledge of your interest in all of me, loving me mentally, the same way you love me physically as I learn you. I am woman, you are man. Spiritual beings balancing each other. Our differences, oxymoronally, makes us one.
Woo! Yes, yes, yes. Wow, that was
Thank you.
awesome. That was awesome. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's right. Snap,
Yeah.
snap.
Wow, wow. Do you do the spoken word?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Okay. That was awesome. That
Thank
was
you very
awesome.
much.
Wow. Woo. Can't close it out no better than that, right? Yes, that was truly amazing.
Not at all.
Love that. Yes, yes, yes. So let me just post you ladies links so people can connect with you. Diane, do you have a website?
Website is being revamped right now. I am on Instagram. I have Events by Silent Designs
On Instagram?
on Instagram, Events by Silent Designs, and Dion Skincare.
Okay. Uh, all right, I'm just going to post your link to your Facebook page, and people can connect with you over there
Yes.
and get more information on how to connect with you. All right, let me just post that real quick. But yeah, that was awesome word there. Okay. All right. So that is Diane's link on Facebook. So you can connect with her there. It's in the comments section. Okay. And Christine, do you have a website?
Not yet, but I'll certainly update you.
All right. So I'm going to drop your link as well. And Dr. Wong, we already have your links up there. So I just wanted to get everybody a means to be contacted. Okay, so that is Diane's information to contact her on Facebook. So you can just click on the link and send her a friend request. Let me just pull up Christine's real quick. And just before we close out. So guys, if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments section before we close out for this evening. So ladies, do you have any closing words you'd like to speak before we close out this evening?
I'd like to say thank you. It's been an awesome experience being on the Come Up. I think that absolutely this is a platform that is going on top and going higher. So I'd really like to thank you. And it's been a pleasure thus far working with the team, yourself as our IT guru, Brother Rob. Diane, your tenacity, expertise, no nonsense, go get them. It's really, really good. And of course, expertise with Dr. Wong. Needless to say, your legacy is still being made. So it's my pleasure being on the forum tonight. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. It has truly been a pleasure working with all of you ladies. You're truly an inspiration to me, and I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. I have learned so much from you ladies just within our intergroup discussions and just talking about different things. It has really been a wonderful experience in every way. So yes, I want to thank each and every one of you. And we look forward to going forward within our journey. So yeah, we're going to see where this takes us.
Yes, I am. I'm very grateful for this group, this collective that has been formed under the leadership of Dr. Wong. Rob, your tech guru highness.
Yeah, what
Please don't ever go.
I'm
Please.
here. I'm here.
And your honesty and personality is welcomed. Christine, your experience and your expertise in your areas, I look to learn from you as well. What can I say to Dr. Wong? I think between the two of us, we have a 65-year relationship. If you put our age and the amount of time, the length of time that we know each other.
Don't tell it. Don't tell it.
And I still learn so much from her
Wow.
each time.
Yeah.
Her heart is pure and it's golden, and her her selflessness is unmeasured, and I appreciate the trust that she's instilled in all of us. Your come up, the come up, Rob, it has just begun, and
I received that.
higher platforms, and I'm looking forward to see how we give men the voice platform that they so desperately need.
All right.
Okay. Well, it is coming Monday, June 22nd at 7 p.m. So make sure you are tuning in to the Now Talk Show on Facebook and also on YouTube. So just put in the Now Talk Show in the YouTube search bar or on Facebook, and you will see the Now Talk Show. Make sure you subscribe, register, and join the family. Yes,
And I
Dr.
think
Wong.
May I say something?
Absolutely.
I am truly honored to work with such great minds, each of you. There's no words, but God bless you. And I'm really thankful that with the gifts that God has given to you, we are all working together for His glory. I am
Amen.
really excited about this vision, and knowing that God who gives the vision will provide the provision.
There you go.
And
There you
I'm
go.
really excited about that. There's no one like you, Christine Grahame, like Graham Crackers. I honor you. There's no one like you, Sister Diane.
None
Your
whatsoever.
creativity, your passion, there's no
Yeah.
one like you. And Brother Rob, what a man you are.
yes.
What a
Thank
man
you.
you are. What order you
Thank
have
you.
bring. And I'm just so honored to work with you. So God bless
My
you
pleasure.
all. And I'm excited for the now as it continues to, create monumental steam and catapult in great places. And, the objective, the vision for this is global. The vision for this is international. And once we can communicate on a common language, audience, don't shy away. We can get an interpreter, we can make it happen, because the objective is expressing yourself. And this is a safe platform to do that. So thank you again.
hmm Awesome. 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 Yes. So, family, we are going to close it out. But yes, every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we will be going live from the Now YouTube channel and also the Now Facebook page. So make sure you go over to the YouTube channel, subscribe over there, or you can just like the Facebook page and click the notification button. So you will be notified each and every time we go live or we make a post within the group page, not the group page, but the business page, and also on the YouTube channel. So, family, we are going to wrap it up for this
Yes.
evening. It has truly been a joy and an honor to be with you all. We want to thank you for sharing some time with us this evening to introduce you to our wonderful team and family here of the Now Talk Show. So we just want to wish you all the very best. We want to continue success for you all, many blessings and God's favor over your life. So until next week, where we will be back at the same time and the same channel here on the Come Up. On behalf of the Now Talk Show team, this is Bob McCray for the Business Building Network. Thanking you all for joining us, and we will see you soon.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye. Good night.